You know, so Rich just split. We're done with our, I know these notes may look ineligible or illegible to you, but they make perfect sense to me because I'm the one that took them. But we got it figured out, believe it or not. Those stub axles literally get about 7/10 of a degree, almost a full degree of negative camber, where the top of the tires would be tilted in when Richie stood up. I just had them. We put it on the floor and we blocked it up out here where this last bearing was running out here, up off the ground, and zeroed it out on the axle. We took settings, wrote everything down. I put a piece of cardboard in here, and I just had them stand here and here, which is about middle, maybe a little more forward, but I mean, the most of your mass is going to be here. Your legs don't really weigh nothing compared to your chest, right? So I had them stand right here, and yeah, it really went to town. Maybe that's why they welded that bar across the front of here. Maybe that's what they meant by it was too flexible, because the cart handled fantastic when I drove it after I cut that bar off. Car drove fine. If you saw the pictures, this we had a little negative camber in this front wheel. This one was straight up and down back then in October. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set them at 1 degree of positive with no weight on the cart. So when we're fully dressed, everything's on it, motor and everything's just on it. And obviously I'm 18, 20 pounds heavier than Rich. So that should probably put us where we need to be. If they're really out of whack, if they're way out of whack, then we'll spend the money and we'll buy the sniper pills and put the adjustable pills on it. And that way we can dial it in. As you know, these old go-karts are worn out. They don't, this being a zip cart, I don't know if it was made of chrome moly or not. I know they didn't make it. The old zip carts weren't made of chrome moly. I think they were just mild steel. The chrome moly has memory, that's why they make the carts out of chrome moly, because they spring back. They come back. I don't know what the deal is with the CIK chassis, the Italian stuff. That those guys seem to have a new chassis every year to be competitive. It doesn't make any sense to me. But we'll deal with it. This is a vintage car. We're not going competitive racing with it. We're going to play around a little bit. We're going to chase some of the old timers, right, Bob? We're going to chase some of those old geezers. And if anything else, we're just going to push it to the track and win the fashion show. And hopefully they got some girls here giving away fashion show trophies. Who knows? I can see Bob bringing me a trophy with a little girl wearing a dress or something on the top of it, right? Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I know where you live, Bob. So that's it, guys. We're done for today. I think tomorrow I'll come out and I started working on the fixtures is done as far as is ready to use it. What I did is I zeroed out the angle gauge here and then measured the kingpin angle. This being the left side and this being the right side. This one was at 12.1. This one was not. I'm not going to get into why they're different. Obviously, it's an old go-kart, man. The thing's been bent or crashed or something, but they're not the same. We are going to set the ride height the same, even though we know when we got the car, this spindle was all the way up and that one was all the way down. That's usually how it works. When at the corner, the same side as the engine, you're going to be light here and you're going to be heavy here, and so you're always going to have to add weight. Now, this car is really offset, but that's how we drove it. It drove fine, so we're more than likely we're going to get it on the scales and we'll tune that front corner down. So we're not going to change where this stub axle is located centrally here. It's actually, like I said, it's just a little above center, and that's how they were on the old spindle. So we'll do that, and with the extra tunability we have with the ride height adjustability of this here compared to the old one, we'll be able to fix it up. We'll add a little there. We'll take a little out here. Bang, bang, boom. She'll be a rocket ship. She'll be good to go. So I think what we're going to do, now that we know that this one is at 10 and this one's at 12, we'll set this one at 13 and we'll set that one at 11. We'll stick them back on just to check it out, and then we'll weld them up. We'll tack them together and give them to Rich. He can weld them up, and then we'll get them back. I mean, it's going to have some positive camber on the stand. That's just how it works. And you know how these things are. Once you get in it and out of it and you start running it, it's going to settle, right? It's going to find its happy spot. So as it was, when we set it down on the blocks, the right front was in 7/10 of a degree. The left was at 0. Just setting it down and we got everything straight. We zeroed here and we went and checked. So we had 7/10 of negative and 0. I had Rich stand on it and it moved 8/10 on the right side and it moved 6/10 on the left side. And because we've got the spindles adjusted at the same height, you could tell when we were blocking it up, this side, the wood was, you know, there was pressure on it. This side had a lot of weight on it. So just with no motor on, the thing's already tweaked, right? So it is what it is. It's an old go-kart, man. We'll get it tuned up. We'll get it around the racetrack. It'll be fine. It's a toy. It's we're going to play with it. So what we ended up with finally when he got out of it, and we checked, we zeroed and then rechecked, and it went from 7/10 to 1.1 on the right. It went from 0 to 3/10 in, or negative on the top. Then I had him get all the way up close to the nut bar as far as he could with his weight, and it moved from 1.1 to 1.8. So it moved 7/10 the second time, 8/10 the first time, 7/10. You know, so as we came back off and had no pressure on it, you know, it still had some angle to it after putting that initial weight on it. So inevitably, the second time after we got off, saw what it did, and then got back on, it moved 7/10 on each side. He got back off, and it was within 1/10 on this side, and it was exactly the same on the right side. So 7/10. I mean, now I can see 3/10, but it ain't gonna make a difference, especially after we get all the components bolted on this thing, and I'm in and out of it, in and out of it, in and out of it. It'll start to settle. It might even end up with a little negative after a while. Who knows? But that's what we'll do. I mean, if it gets real bad, then we'll put the adjustable stuff to it. But that's what we're gonna do. It wants 7/10. We're gonna give it a full degree, and go from there. So just wanted to bring you in, show you the final results, and that didn't turn out too bad. It's a basic little setup there, man. You know, no big deal. But that's it from RPM's Racing Roseville. Hang in there, y'all. It'll get better. It'll get better. If it don't, we're gonna go racing anyway. So, oh well. I'm praying for you. God bless. Godspeed. Hang in there, folks. I'm gonna go cook some dinner.